Hi guys, I'm Mandy. I have spent a lot of time lately scouring the internet for people who have been in the same situation as me, and I haven't really found very many videos, so I decided to make one of my own after my experience so that anyone else looking for videos with people in the same situation might find some help with my story. So I am telling my story about my experience with an IUD pregnancy. About 2 months ago, I started not feeling so good, not normal for how I normally am, and my period seemed like it came, but it was mostly just spotting, and it seemed to last for like 10 days, and it just wasn't going away. And well, it would come and go, like it might be gone for 2 days and then I'd spot some more, and I thought, well, this isn't normal. I kind of thought that maybe it was because of my diet, because I'd been on a kind of a crazy diet, but I went ahead and I knew I probably wasn't pregnant. I've scared myself 1,000 times, but I've been on the IUD for years, so I really didn't think that that could happen to me. So I took it. I was actually at work. I had just started thinking about the possibility, and I just kind of freaked myself out. So I went and bought a test, one of those stupid dollar store ones, and I was at work and I took it, and a faint second line came up, and I just started freaking out. I've heard so many stories about people that get pregnant on the IUD and all the risks involved, and that it could be ectopic, and I thought, oh my gosh, do I need to go to the hospital right now? What if it's ectopic? I could die. I could bleed to death and die. I didn't know, what could be happening inside of my body right now. So I scheduled an appointment with my doctor. It wasn't for a couple days. I knew I should probably go in faster just in case it could be ectopic, but I'm the kind of person who is really bad about not going to the doctor right away when I should, because I have white coat syndrome, and doctors scare me. But sorry, my 2-year-old is knocking my camera around. But I went in to the doctors, and they thought I might be around 4 weeks. They scheduled an ultrasound. A couple days later, I had that ultrasound to locate my IUD, and come to find out, it was perfectly placed. There was nothing wrong with it at all. So it hadn't shifted, and somehow I had still gotten pregnant. The sac was located inside of my uterus where it was supposed to be. And I was about where they said, about 4 weeks. A few days later, I went to my OB and had them remove the IUD. Some doctors may give you the chance to take it out or leave it in. Leaving it in has risks of that IUD puncturing your water, and your baby could be born premature because of that. There have been some people that have delivered a baby with an IUD in place the whole time, but I wasn't willing to take the risk of losing my baby after I had already started getting bigger. I didn't want to carry my baby halfway and then have my baby pass away because something bad happened. I'd rather take the chance of losing a baby at just a few weeks that I didn't expect to have in the first place than lose it further on after I've carried it for so long, and have my own body be a reminder to me every day that I lost my little baby. So I got it taken out. everything seemed great for a few days, and I started getting really excited. Almost a week later, I did buy some big brother and sister t-shirts for my other kids, and I was starting to daydream about telling my mother-in-law, and telling friends, because I've never had a miscarriage before. My other kids, the pregnancies went great, and I just kind of had that feeling that everything was going to be okay. And not to mention, this is kind of crazy though, I had conceived on Easter. And I have always been, I'm not the greatest Christian in the world or anything, but I have some Christian background, and I kind of just had that feeling, that being conceived on Easter and my baby would have been due almost right on Christmas. And I just thought it was funny that it was the day that people celebrate Christ rising from the dead, and then the day that people celebrate his birthday. I just thought maybe it was a sign. Maybe things were meant to be. Maybe the fact that I got pregnant, even though the odds were so small, and the dates and everything, it just seemed like it was meant to be somehow. But, a few days later, I went in for another ultrasound to check and see how the baby was forming, to see if there was the fetal pole, and there should have been a heartbeat. Well, I went in, and when I got the ultrasound tech, she was like extremely tight-lipped. She didn't say a word. I almost kind of got that feeling that there might be something wrong, because she was just so quiet. She didn't say a word. And usually they'll at least talk with me. So this was during a vaginal ultrasound. I mean, she was just, not trying to make things comfortable for me at all by having some conversation. Well, then I went to my OB's office after the ultrasound was over to go over the results, and my OB said it's not good. She said that there was no heartbeat. There was just no heart at all. It didn't even form. She told me I'd probably have a miscarriage within the next few days. But there was a very slight possibility they could have miscalculated how far along I was, and maybe it just hadn't formed yet. So she tried to give me like a glimmer of hope. And I tried to tell myself that that's what it was. But 2 days later, I started bleeding. It was brown at first, just a little bit, and I started thinking, okay, they say this is normal, sometimes this happens, especially with people who have had an IUD removed, and it wasn't. The next day I went to work, and I was feeling a lot of pain in my lower back, just like the period. I just felt like I was getting a period, and I went to the bathroom, and I just suddenly felt it flowing out of me like a faucet. It was just bits and pieces and just flowing very heavy. And I knew right then and there exactly what it was. I knew that I had lost my baby, and I was an emotional wreck. I was crying, and I left work. I told my boss. And I just spent a few days at home, just passing the rest of everything and pain. It was just really hard, because I had started to get excited, even though I knew that I probably shouldn't, because of the risks were so high. I had read somewhere, I don't know how true it was, that it was only like a 50% chance of a baby making it after an IUD is removed, because it could irritate the uterus and make it expel its contents. So that happened, and I had a miscarriage. I bled for about 7 days, and after a while I started to become, start to accept it. This whole time I did have a Vegas trip coming up in June, so just a few weeks later, and I hadn't planned on going to Vegas pregnant. I wanted to drink with my friends, But I really started to be okay with going to Vegas pregnant. Like, I didn't even care because I was just so excited about my baby. My husband and I, we had actually planned on trying in just a couple weeks. Right after our Vegas trip, we were going to try for a baby. I was going to get my ID removed anyways, and it was going to happen. So the funny thing is, now that we don't have protection from that IUD so far, okay, I still have not had a period yet. It has been almost 4 weeks since I lost my baby. I've not had a period, and my HCG levels, I got them checked a few days ago, and they are unexpectedly high, is what they said. It is possible that I may be pregnant again already, and I haven't even gone to Vegas yet, so I might end up spending that trip pregnant anyways. But, so tomorrow I will find out. Maybe that baby just needed a few more weeks to be ready for me. We will see. I'll find out in the morning with a new blood draw what my HCG levels are, and y'all want to know, I'll keep you updated. All right, bye.